All right, guys, so we are taking this very special presentation from P&S Off Road. Based on what's behind me here, it looks like we're gonna be getting our hands dirty because joining me today is Kyle Clark of P&S for the launch of P&S Off Road. There we go, we got the mic back on. You guys can hear me now. So yes, this is the launch of P&S Off Road. We're taking it off road, we're going off road. Kyle,
dude, I'm excited.
Are you excited? I'm pumped.
This has been a journey.
This has been a journey.
Finally, we're here.
Yeah.
In your studio.
Yep.
We started this over a year ago.
Yep.
Or last year. And yeah, P&S is going off road. And I'm excited to be the one chosen to work with you today because I'm into off-roading.
You are very much into off-roading.
I love these things.
You live this lifestyle.
Yes, so much. They're wonderful. I have my eye on this Pro R right here. So
I think we all do.
Yeah, gosh, man. Well, you know, Anthony, I've been really into off-roading since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And being a detailer, using all of the P&S product line, I was just super excited that we decided, okay, we're going to make something specific for the industry that I love.
Yeah,
so this is going to be great.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't be more happy because this is something that I feel like was really needed, right? With off-road getting more and more popular, with all these cool, crazy toys being invented every single year, and they just seem to keep upping the ante, and they're getting crazier, they're getting faster, and they are just getting more and more aggressive. I mean, especially this this Pro R here. It seems like, you know, more and more people are buying them. It's getting more and more popular. But the thing is, with the cooler stuff that comes out, the price goes up, right? And so maintaining these things is extremely important. So having detailing products that are going to be able to, you know, maintain your investment, right? Keep it going, keep it looking somewhat good, right? When it's not covered in mud. I feel like that's extremely important. I feel like that this is a huge market that has yet to really be tackled, and I think P&S is up for the job, especially having you on board with all of your background. And so in front of us here is the P&S Off Road line with all the special branding, and as you guys can see, we got the pretty cool shirts on right now. I mean, pretty cool.
Giant billboard
the extremely cool shirts on, with of course a lot of eye candy in the back. So today we're going to be going over the entire line, right? Breaking down each one of the products, and then we're going to actually be showing you a demo of each product, kind of showing you how you would utilize that within your detailing regimen. And so this line, Kyle, is it for detailers? Is it for consumers? Is it for people that enjoy going out on the weekend? Is it for everybody?
It's for everybody.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure detailers are going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
They're going to find the fragrances, the smells, and the names are fun. We'll talk about the names.
Fun.
I'm super excited about those. But as P&S is a manufacturer right here in the United States, that's why we added that on, because we're proud of that. We make our products. Yeah. Actually, these were all, you know, just shipped here. They were bottled last week. Yep. And we're ready to roll. Yep. So I think the enthusiasts are going to enjoy it because, you know, there's guys out there that love to wipe down their stuff and clean them. And then the detailers take care of them too. Yep, exactly. So when you have a line that you're telling your customer, hey, I use a product that is designed specifically for your UTV, your Jeep, your dirt bike, your snow machine. Yep. Then, you know, it gives people a little peace of mind. You know, we've tested them, played with them. We know it's going to work on these surfaces. Yep. And these aren't cheap surfaces anymore. No, they're not. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, it keeps getting crazier and crazier, and with that, the price keeps going up and up. And so when somebody told me the cost of this Pro R here, my knees got weak a little bit because I said, oh my gosh, and I'm sure you can get the fun squeeze out of that, right? But at the same time, I mean, that's a large investment to get into something like this. Yeah, but you know what? The other day, I cleaned my daughter's little Suzuki LT50 with this line. Yeah. So, I mean, little fun, cheap toys. Yep. Yep. We have KTM dirt bike here. You know, there's so many aspects to off-roading. Yeah, absolutely. From the sand, which is my favorite. I love going to the dunes. I love going to the dirt, playing in the silt. You have the mud. You have the snow. Rock crawling. Off-roading takes you to places that you want to enjoy and be with your family. Yeah. You know, so that's kind of where I get this passion, because I started when I was a kid. Yep. And I enjoy teaching my kids how to off-road. Yep. And I enjoy showing them how to clean their stuff, because I would say getting dirty is only half the fun. Yes. We got to get it clean. Yep. You got to get it clean. So what I want to do is we're going to go through the line, like you said, and then we'll do some demonstrations. Today's a demo, so it's not exactly how it would detail off-road vehicle, but we want to show you some fun things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and we're going to start down on this end. We're going to go talk about our wide open all-terrain wash.
Okay.
So this soap, as you can see, we have it in a gallon, and we have it here in our quart. And I also have it already diluted
for the foam cannon.
10-to-1 in a foam cannon, ready to go, because we're going to foam this at the end.
Oh man, okay.
We're going to foam it at the end before we say, hi to some of our other friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a little bit about wide open all-terrain wash. Good general purpose soap. Has a little bit of, we'll say, protection in it.
Okay, yeah.
It'll help, keep your ride nice. Give the lubricity we want to lift the dirt.
Yep.
Don't scratch it all up.
Yep.
Even though it's probably already scratched because you were out enjoying it anyways.
Well, depends on what people are riding through, right?
True.
Depends. Yeah.
There's some off-road vehicles out there that are, barely see any dust.
Yeah, that are still minty fresh, right?
Yeah.
That would be probably one of mine, right? People are like, just drive through the brush. I said, no, I'll go the other way. I'll find the brushless way, the way that I won't get scratched up. That would be me.
I used to be that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now it's just more fun.
Okay.
I mean, we can fix those things later. We got to get them clean.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So, so this is one of those things where it's not going to remove your scratches and make them disappear, but like you said, it's got some protective features to it, right? And so the biggest thing that I noticed, especially on the label, is going to be the rust inhibiting formula, right?
Yeah. That's one thing that we wanted to make sure, and what that means is just protect those raw materials that could rust.
And could and will rust, right?
Will.
Depending on where you're taking these things. And so, and this applies to, again, right, not just UTVs, not just dirt bikes. This is also for your Jeeps, right? This is for any off-road vehicle. It's of course going to be paint safe, but we were really, you guys are really cognizant of knowing what happens not just on top, right, on the outer surfaces, but what's going on underneath, right?
Yeah, you could definitely foam cannon the undercarriage of any of your, any of these rigs, on a quad, on the dirt bike. It's safe enough to clean all those surfaces.
Well, and it just, look how much is exposed, right? So when you're looking at a side profile of something like a UTV, seeing that long travel suspension, right? Seeing the entire side of an engine sticking out of it, right? You have a lot of exposed things, right? Every nut and bolt, right?
Yeah.
And those are surfaces that could potentially rust. And so having something with rust inhibitors is going to be more ideal.
And these things have a lot of power. And they throw a lot of sand and dirt. Yeah. Which means they're going to chip paint. They're going to chip all the powder coating on the A-arms and the shocks. And so you're going to have exposed metal, no matter what you do. So, and that's why we decided to go with that.
Yeah. I know. I think that's a fantastic idea, and having a little bit of cleaning power, a lot of lubricity to be able to lift and provide a safe gliding surface for a mitt. And so this is what makes it different than just a standard soap, right? It was designed for this reason, but it's something that can safely be used on paint, vinyl, decals, and everything else like that. And so
let's touch on the name, Wide Open.
Yeah.
So there's so many meanings behind that name within the off-road industry. So with wide open, that's either your foot's all the way down on the gas, wide open spaces, going and camping or just, having fun. So we thought wide open fit this line really well. Yeah. And that's why we chose it for that product.
Well, I think all the names you guys did
it was fun.
Pretty dang good job
I'm
with,
proud
man.
of them. I really am.
I love everything, and I love the colors. And I think that this is a very aesthetically pleasing line, and I think it's easy to understand. And that's a big thing too, because not everybody that's going to be into off-road is going to be a pro detailer. Not everybody is going to be somebody that's into detailing, but being able to have products that they can know, okay, hey, that's what I use that for. Makes it simple, it makes it fun, but not just that, it's also very effective. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, so if you're out off-roading all day, right, and you want to stop and make a pit stop, you're going to need a quick detailer.
A pit stop. I see what you've done there. I see what you've done there.
So
very
stop,
clever.
Quick detailer.
You got me.
It's a quick detailer.
Yeah.
But you know what? I go to the sand dunes with my family, and I want to wipe down my side-by-side, and I want to just lift the silt. Silt is that fine dust, fine sand, and wipe it off. I can't wash it out there, right?
Yeah, okay.
So this is our way of doing our light cleaning the sides, the plastics, the headlights. Okay. I have a plexiglass windscreen. Yeah. So, we want to make sure we can wipe all those surfaces down. Yeah. and lift it.
Absolutely. And so this quick detailer, right? It's different than any other quick detailer that you guys have made because it has a little bit more of an emphasis on being able to clean, right? Because it's noticing the fact that these are off-road vehicles and they are going to be making pit stops, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going to have more cleaning power than your typical standard quick detailer, which I thought that was a really cool addition to the product itself, but also a unique color, unique scent, and one thing I wanted to point out too is that, again, being safe on painted surfaces, including your normal vehicles that you would drive, like AKA a Jeep, right? I think it's kind of exciting because you can take this with you and maybe you can call me a poser. I don't care, right? I don't care. If I were to take, let's just say I have a Jeep or I have a 4Runner, right? And I want to go take it off-roading the day that I do, right? The day that I talk myself into it and I get somewhere and I have a beautiful backdrop. I'm talking beautiful, but I have bug guts all over the front of my vehicle. And I'm like, wow, it's a little bit too much, right? Or it looks like it's kind of taken away from the photo, right? I can touch that up using pit stop. I can clean that up on the way. Whereas something else would be if there's something that I know is going to etch, right? I've parked underneath some sap, I've parked underneath a tree, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a pain to remove if I don't remove it now. This is where it comes into play.
Perfect. Exactly what the idea was. And you know, this community, the off-road community, they take pride in their rides, right?
I
mean, look at this thing.
They do.
That reflective wrap on there.
Yeah.
When you're out making that dirty, you want to see, you want to show people.
Yeah.
You know, you want to show the logo on the side.
Absolutely.
You know, my side-by-side has an American flag and reflective vinyl on it. I want people to see the reflective vinyl. That's why I did it. It's kind of, I paid the money for it.
That is true. That is
you
very
want to show
true.
it off.
That is very, very true. You don't really think about that too often, but I mean, that was the whole point of it in the first place. And so one thing I want to point out too is that when, during our Grand Ambassador program, right, that we have here at the Rag Company, we have seen a lot of Jeep enthusiasts, right? A lot of off-road enthusiasts that have become more involved within the detailing community or kind of become more aware of maintaining their rides. And so thanks to a couple of our Grand Ambassadors who have really kind of paved the way, right? They've really, or unpaved the way? How can I say that, right? They've laid down some gravel for us to really gain some traction and shift gears.
Yeah.
Okay, too many dad jokes in one segment. So, but they did such a good job, and so we have a lot of these fans of Jeeps and off-roading that go to Moab. They go to all these amazing places, and really, these pictures they're taking are incredible, right? But what stands out to me the most is really it's not sometimes the dirtiest of the Jeeps or the dirtiest of the off-road vehicles, but it's the one where I can tell, hey, that's a person that's maintained their paint. That's a person that knows what they're doing. And I'm like, it really just adds to the effect of having that great backdrop. And so I know some people love when things are dirty, but I'm a guy that loves when things are clean. So I think you get the best of both worlds depending on what you want to do. So I think it makes perfect sense.
And in this community too, people upgrade. They start little, they get bigger.
You're telling me that they might start little and they might get bored of it or they might outgrow it and then they say, I need to spend a little bit more money?
I've done it. I mean, I had a Razor that was an 800 and I got a turbo and now I want this thing. But my point is, I'm going to sell those things over time.
Okay.
You got to keep them clean.
Yeah.
You want to maintain them.
Maintain resale value too.
Yeah, your resale value, because they hold their value and you need all the money you can out of this thing.
Yeah.
So I can buy this thing.
Exactly.
And you can move up. And some of these off-road rigs we're talking about aren't just Jeeps or these, we're talking sand rails. Then sand rails can be $500,000.
Oh my gosh, this sounds like a very expensive
There's a very common
hobby
sand
to get
rails
into.
that are, at least $100,000.
Oh goodness, okay.
And so we're talking some show cars out there hitting the dunes.
Yeah.
And you want to wipe them down, you want them to look good.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is going to have a little bit of, it's actually not, it's going to have a little bit, it's going to have a lot of UV protection inside there. It's going to have some UV inhibitors. It's something that has a good slick feel on all smooth surfaces, but can be applied to virtually anything and everything, whether it's the inside of a Jeep, the outside of a Jeep, the inside of a Razor, the outside of a Razor, the everywhere on a dirt bike, like literally.
You're not going to hurt
anywhere.
anything by putting it anywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, cleaning off your gauge cluster.
Yep.
Your plexi Lexan windscreen, your glass windscreen.
Yeah.
There's so many surfaces it will work well on.
I think that you brought up a good point with the whole with the cluster, right? So on most clusters, that surface scratches by looking at it, right? And
they all will scratch.
They all will scratch, right? So what happens when you go off-roading, right? They collect everything, right? And typically, you're off-roading, you go with your hand or your glove.
I was just saying the same thing.
They go like that and they wipe, and I say, oh, what have you done? You've done the wrong thing, right? So if I had this, and let's just say I had a microfiber towel with me, I would just douse it. I would douse it, clean it off, and you're going to do so much less damage. And I see guys on motorcycles do it all the time, right? Because this is something that's safe on not only dirt bikes, but it's also safe on street bikes. It makes me cringe when I see guys at the gas station. They go, the gauge cluster is dirty. They take the side of their glove, they rub on their gauge cluster, and I say, do you know how much a pain it is to polish that out? Do you know that might not come out like that? Oh, it's fine. I'm like, it's not fine until direct sunlight hits it and you can't see how fast you're going. Right?
Yeah. Well, and you want to be visible, and you want to be able to see things. So you have mirrors, you have LED lights, you have whip lights, you have light bars.
These accessories are not cheap,
you got to clean them off, because not only do you want to see where you're going, you want to be seen too.
Yep.
For safety.
Exactly. And I know there's a lot of people too that will park there, especially when it comes to the combination of using maybe wide open and pit stop. They go off-roading, right? And they might do a spray down, right? They might pressure wash it, they might rinse it, but then they kind of park it in the garage and it'll collect dust over time, right? And it'll just kind of sit there. And what happens? You brush up against it, it gets really dirty. I would much rather have something that I can use to touch things up that are sitting in the garage for longer periods of time rather than sit there with the dust, because let's be honest, everything looks better in the garage when it's cleaned up, right? So
exactly.
That's my opinion. That's just me, but I'm also crazy, right? You guys know that I'm crazy, and that's just what it is. So anyway, I want to move on to the full send.
Yeah, we'll go to full send. Last thing, you can take the pint with you. You can take the pint with you. You can take the pint.
Oh, I can take the pints with me right now. You're saying me?
No, you can put them in the side by side.
Oh, I thought you were saying I can take them.
With you out on the trail, man.
Yeah,
and have fun with them.
And you have plenty of storage inside these things to be able to fit them in certain areas and be able to, or even in the door car, or even the side of the doors, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have a case in the back of mine that we keep all of our stuff in. And so my point is, we have them available in pints, and then we also have our bottles, because they're bottle fill off of our gallons.
Yeah. Okay.
And these things have a lot of power, and everybody wants to go big. And when you go big, we call it full send.
Okay. All right.
Full send is our dressing.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I love it.
It's the total dressing.
Send it, man. Yeah.
I mean, it means you jumped it. You
jumped it too far. You pedaled the metal too far.
And hopefully you landed it.
Hopefully, and hopefully you make it back in one piece and you can load that thing on the trailer home. Right.
This is by far my favorite name.
Okay.
It's just I love it so much. And so full send is a ready-to-use dressing that can be used on all the plastics, all the tires, the trim.
Yep.
It can work on the powder coating. It can work pretty much everywhere except for, the glass.
Don't put on the steering wheel.
Don't put on the steering wheel. Don't put on the foot pedals.
Okay. That's easy.
All those other places, you can spray it. You can let it self-level.
Yep.
You can blend it in. We'll do that a little bit later with our applicator, the Pearl applicator we have there. And it's going to be great for all those surfaces. Like I told you about my daughter's little quad the other day. I soaked it in full send.
Okay.
And then I wiped it all down, a couple hours later.
Yeah.
Put it up online. I'm going to sell it. So.
Okay. And then she gets an upgrade.
And she already got her upgrade.
Oh, she already got her upgrade.
She went to a bigger quad.
Okay. Right on.
Big girls.
Heck yeah. So on this right here, this on full send, because I was talking to the guys about this in the back, and I was like, okay, so that makes the most sense, because depending on how you're storing this, right, or how the interior is very exposed on these vehicles, right? I mean, it's very, very exposed, and the fact that you can use this on both the interior and exterior to keep things UV protected, to keep things moisturized and keep them from drying out, because these plastics can get brittle, right? Because when the temperatures are going out, they can get pretty hot.
Drying out is probably the biggest problem with these particular plastics on the fender flares, the mud flaps. All those areas, they're going to dry out. Silt will suck the moisture right out of anything.
I did not know that. Okay.
I mean, it's just not good for it.
Yeah.
And so that'll rehydrate the surface, give it a nice shine, let it absorb in. If you want to buff it down and give it a very natural look, you can, or just leave it and it'll have a little bit more of a gloss to it.
Yeah. Okay. And so I was going to ask too as well. So with this, you said you could apply it on the control arms. Is this something that you're going to be able to hit the tires with as well, if you want to dress the tires to keep them looking nice, right? But you can do that. But I was thinking to myself, because earlier we had the segment with Solution Finish. We had Chris West, right, who restored some trim on this RZR over here. Now, essentially, if you keep up on addressing, you keep up on the UV protection, you won't have to restore that trim for hopefully a long, long time.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe not even in your ownership, right? If you maintain it and you keep up on it.
Yeah, I mean that's another great product out there, and so, but it's the repairing product, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a repairing product. I'm thinking if this is a maintenance product,
yes,
and that's already our go-to repairing product, right? You can repair and then maintain, or you
totally could do that.
You can repair, hit it with some over the top, then maintain it with this if you want to do that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and so it'll be great for all those surfaces. And say you're going to the off-road show, you know, there you go. We're just shine them up, make them look pretty.
Heck yeah, man. And so interior, exterior, pretty much everything rubber, everything plastic. You can brush it on, you can spray it on, let it sit, knock it down.
It'll work great on the vinyl seats.
Oh, really?
Fine on leather.
Yeah. Okay. Fine on leather too?
Yeah, put it on the leather.
Oh, heck yeah,
buff it down.
Okay. So
you don't want you sliding, but that's what those 5-point harnesses are for.
Yes. So it just makes the ride a little bit more exhilarating.
Exactly.
Right? So again, a dressing that can be used on Jeeps. It can be used on UTVs, ATVs, dirt bikes. The only thing,
don't put it on the seat.
Don't put it on the seat. I was just about to say that. Don't put it on the seat, and don't put it on the tread, especially if you're going to go rip around your neighborhood really quick on the concrete, because you will definitely be in for a big surprise. So very cool. And what's it smell like?
It is a orange creamsicle.
Huh. Sold. Done. Take it. Sounds awesome.
I'm very happy with this smell. I'm very happy.
What I'm going to do, so for me personally, right, so on my street bikes, I don't have a dirt bike yet, right, but maybe I can convince my wife
It'll work well
later today. So on a street bike, right, when the areas that I would hit this on would be anywhere that had maybe black powder coat that's been faded far too long, anything that's textured, that it's not a major grip point or anything that, requires, my legs or anything to grip. But I think what I would like to do is probably spray this on like the clamshell. So a clamshell is where basically you have your switches, right, on your handlebars, right? I don't want it on my grips, but those switches fade out, especially during long days of sitting out in the sunlight of 90-degree days, right? They fade, the black fades. So this is something that I would probably brush onto those clamshells, let sit, let absorb, moisturize, knock it down and wipe it off.
Take a microfiber towel, put it on your grip, give it a quick mist.
Yeah.
Protect the grips.
Protect the grip, yeah, and
you're good to go.
Down. Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Soak in and absorb. And that kind of leads us to cleaning vinyl seats, cleaning on a dirt bike, on side-by-sides, and cleaning the interior. And if you're a racer, which these guys take these out on Baja, it's called the Cockpit. And so we have our Cockpit interior cleaner.
Okay, all right.
And so that is, and this has a wonderful smell. I do really like this smell as well.
Okay.
We don't really have fragrances in all of them just yet.
Okay, okay.
But man, these three, they're winners so far with me.
Okay.
This would be great on your seats of your snow machine, inside your Jeep.
Yeah.
All the off-road vehicles, all those types of materials that we want to clean, but be a little bit more gentle on.
Yeah.
Not quite going a heavy degreaser or a heavy all-purpose cleaner.
Okay.
But it'll leave a nice, light, fresh, clean look.
Yeah, and I think so. Because I was asking you guys previously, I said, okay, so you have this, or you have, Express, which is part of the normal P&S line as an interior cleaner, and so the Cockpit has a little bit more cleaning power based off the dirt, right? Based off of everything that you're going to see from off-road, because that was my biggest question. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I just use more of that? And you guys explained that the concentration of this is actually more, and that it's able to do a better job of the dirt breakdown, right? And the way that it kind of, right when it hits it, it already starts breaking it down, emulsifying, allowing for an easier removal with a towel, because inside of a razor, right, you have a lot of a dirt accumulation that happens in the footwells, right? And so when it lands in the footwells, what do? You spray it out, you can rinse it out, you can pressure wash that out, but in case it's the point where it's like, it's not that much to where I need to take out a hose, but I want to be able to douse that down and safely remove it with a towel without scratching anything, that's where something like Cockpit
you would spray it. You could use your detail factory brush
to agitate it, lift it.
It's in those tight cracks and crevices. This is perfect to work on the pedals, gas in the brake pedal, or clutch on some vehicles, and just get them clean and not make them slippery. but also make them look naturally and clean, and wipe them off with your microfiber towel, and just keep it going.
And so what I was noticing, right? So we have a couple different off-road vehicles right behind us, right? So we have, the Land Cruiser, we have the Razor, we have this Razor. So the difference between this new Razor that we have back over here, this 1000, in comparison to this Turbo Razor right here from the Sticker Mafia. So the Turbo Razor in direct sunlight, right when sunlight hits it, every body crevice on the interior, right, you can see like every bit of buildup, right? And I'm like, oh, right, there's been a lot of stuff that's just kind of piled into that, which is absolutely normal, right?
It's been used.
It's been used, right?
Yeah.
Whereas something on the new one, I said, okay, so this obviously it's spotless and it's spot free. But something like this is what I would use along with a brush to really kind of clean out those areas in between the gaps and stuff, because otherwise you're going to have to pressure wash those things if you want to do that, and then it's just going to find its way somewhere else inside the vehicle.
And it's a ready-to-use formula. You can dilute it. It comes in a gallon, and you can buy a bottle and fill your gallon. But you can dilute it 1-to-1 if you'd like, if you want some lighter cleaning.
Okay.
But other than that, they're all ready to use.
Okay, very cool. All right, so interior, basically interior everything for this particular product, yeah, I'm excited for that. Absolutely.
So for the heavier cleaning, we need to bust the mud and use Mud Buster.
The name,
Mud Buster. P&S, we have our busters.
I know, you have all the busters, man.
We got the iron. Now we got the Mud Buster.
Okay.
And this is a all-around cleaner. Okay. And so we didn't want to call it all-purpose, because we want to be able to use it on all these types of surfaces, all around these UTVs, whatever we're doing.
Cars, fender wells, everything. Yeah.
It's a heavier cleaner.
Okay.
It's for the suspension, the shocks, the A-arms, the upper control arms, the undercarriage, the plastic rockers. I would use it around the gas tank. You leak. You get dirt there. You want to break down the fuel that leaked down the side of your your side by side. Those are the places that we're going to use it. Tires and wheels. And so this is going to be our heavier cleaner.
So, because I was thinking about this the other day too, because we had when we had Carl's, they were dropping something off, and we were just kind of cleaning up one of the UTVs that they had there in preparation of a sale. Beadlock wheels, man. The gift that never stops giving, right? You think you've gotten it all, but you really haven't. And so we found that pre-treatment, right, is necessary. So is something like this, can you pre-treat lowers with it? Can you pre-treat engine bays and then jump straight into pressure washing?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I would do. This will emulsify that dirt. We'll use it a little bit later on one of these wheels. Now, it's not something I'd want to let sit for a long time.
Okay. So you want to have a hose on deck ready to go.
I mean, you just don't want it to dry. If it sits, while you're working on it, you're nice and cool environment, it'll be just fine. But it's going to be safe on those powder coated finishes,
which is very important.
That's why we, made this product to suit that reason, because most of these have black powder coat. Even the back of this truck right here, the bumper, it's all black powder coat, satin finishes. And we just don't want something that's going to dry them out, change the color, and cause a problem there.
So I think, that makes it for a good point, especially with all the intricate powder coating work being done. This one right here having the blue springs, which is absolutely killer. And then the extra bracing and all that underneath on the underside. So on this though, is this something that you would recommend? Would you use on the interior? Is it too strong? Because it looks like it sounds like it'd be too strong to use on the interior, but I'm certain it's probably case by case.
Case by case, but I would definitely use it on the floors.
Okay, all right.
These in the case that you're going to be rinsing, not the wipe down situation.
Not the wipe down situation, but rinsing.
But if you're gonna pull the plugs in the floors, you're gonna rinse them out. You're gonna hit it with Mud Buster. Take your brush. You can use a stiffer brush or whatever style brush you want. Get in all those tight areas and rinse it out. That's where you're going to use it. It's going to get rid of the grease. You can clean around the engine. The CV joints. All those areas where oil, grease can accumulate. It's going to help you clean those areas.
And everything does get greasy, and so especially in the motorcycle world, because with motorcycles, right? You're throwing on wax on the chain, right? And when you throw on that wax on the chain, where does the wax go? It goes everywhere but the chain, typically, right? It likes to fling off and it likes to fly off, and so with wax buildup in certain areas, and then just general grime that just breaks down around drivetrain components on something that's so exposed, something like that is a huge help, right? It's not a dedicated chain degreaser. That's not what it was designed for, but I would imagine it's safe on O-rings. It's safe on other rubber surfaces and things like that. that I would feel comfortable and confident using that. So, oh, we putting on gloves here. All right.
Put in some work.
We're putting on. We gotta get
work in because I'm sure we got some questions that will be coming.
I know we have. I know we have questions. I'm excited for the questions, but I'm also excited to play with this stuff.
I know. I mean, so what I'll do is I'm going to take the Mud Buster. I'm going to go up here and clean this passenger front control arm, the tire, the wheel.
Okay.
And maybe you can grab a pressure washer and help me rinse this off.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we're going to do that, and then we'll head over and do a seat.
Okay.
And then we'll put some full send on that and let it just
do its thing.
Yeah, but we got to get it clean first.
Okay. Do I get to play with maybe? I kind of want to play with the pit stop on the dirt bike potentially. Does that work?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Heck
pit
yeah,
stop,
man.
Maybe dirt bike and maybe that Sticker Mafia, door.
Wipe that down because that's brand new. I mean, he literally wrapped that for the event because he was like, he wanted to play with that in a final, and I think he got something for that.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Anyways, let's go and check this out. I'm gonna grab the pressure washer while you get started on the demo.
Cool. All right. So I would like to start here, up in the wheel well. I mean, this thing's brand new, but it already has some dirt. Looks like the TRC guys were having some fun.
I didn't get to have that fun, but Gabe Garcia got to have that fun.
I want to take this out and have some fun. I flew here, but I'm willing to get a U-Haul and take this home with me if I need to.
And so you got the Detail Factory tire brush right there. You're giving it a run.
Nice and easy. I'm going to take this brush. You know what I want to do?
Preload it. Yeah.
Preload it a little bit. Soften it up.
But I think the idea of having something like this, like an all-around cleaner that people could pre-spray, because I don't think that everybody that's into off-road is extremely into, let's just say, the intricate details, but I think giving them something that's easy to use that you can say, hey, spray this on, rinse it off, you're going to see a substantial difference before jumping into your foam can and contact wash.
Yeah, as a detailer, man, this is what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just kind of want to just spray the whole side of this.
Yeah.
Let it sit.
Yeah.
And then power wash it off. And you can do that because it's already breaking down all these dirt clumps here.
Yeah.
So this is where the areas I would hit it.
Okay.
You can scrub here because this is that textured plastic. I don't recommend really scrubbing this.
Yeah.
But
you can still hit it.
Pre-treat it to emulsify that dirt.
Start breaking it down.
And start breaking it down.
Okay.
Because later we're going to foam this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
now, do I have to, would there be a reason why I dilute Mud Buster?
You can dilute Mud Buster. You can dilute it up to 10-to-1.
Okay, cool.
To get great results. So you can dilute it down if you'd like.
Okay.
And, or go full strength way it comes in the pint.
See, I would say full send, but then people would get confused. They go, wait, so the dressing? No, I meant just full send, as a figure of speech.
Exactly.
Okay. Very cool. So when let me know when you think it's a good time to spray.
I think we're good to rinse all those areas off. Let's do the underside of the wheel well and work our way down.
Clean that pretty much instantly. And so, that looks fantastic, even after they ripped on it.
Yeah,
so I'm
we'll hit the tire, the wheel, and that door.
Go down to the wheel and tire here.
And then we'll see what wide open all-terrain wash does at the end on all the other surfaces. Nice. That's what we want to see. Perfect.
Heck yeah.
So
that's
let some of that water dry.
Yeah, let it dry. We're working with DI water, so we'll be fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we'll hit it with full send.
Now, the big thing though too is that, I mean, and you know this because, obviously you're very experienced in this, but when people rinse off their UTVs, dirt bikes and whatnot, a lot of times they're just using hard water, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times that vehicle is hot. And I'm guessing there's water spots and water spot issues like that. So with any of these products, you know, today, especially the washing products, is this something that even with hard water, do you still recommend washing in the shade if you can in a more ideal situation?
Yeah, you know, heat is never your friend when you're detailing.
Yeah.
And so I always recommend cool areas. Now, this cleaner can probably help break down some of those very minimal, maybe from last week's wash, you know, calcium deposits, but it's not acidic, so it's not going to get rid of those heavy water spots.
Okay, cool, very cool. All right, so I'm gonna go. I'll go put this away here.
We're gonna go on another journey.
We're gonna go on another journey.
We're gonna go over here and play.
Adventure awaits, right? That's what that's what's going on here.
So we went ahead and pulled this seat out of this side by side.
This is pretty dirty.
Yeah, it's already been used. It's perfect.
it's perfect.
I mean, there's some rips in the seat.
Yeah, I'm like, it should have had some protection on it or something. But that's why we're here today, right? I mean, it's not too late for it. We can probably still bring some of it back.
I think so.
Okay.
I think we can. So we'll take the cockpit cleaner. You want the brush?
Okay. Yep.
And we'll hit all these areas. Now this is just vinyl.
Dude, that smells.
Do you like the smell?
Yep. Yep.
Good.
That's a pretty nice fragrance right there. Oh my God, it's good. It is ridiculously good.
I know you're a stickler for the fragrances, man.
I am, but that is a ridiculously good scent. I love that. I love that so much. All right, so I'm gonna hit my side real quick here.
So you can go ahead and hit your side with the brush.
Okay.
But even if you were out enjoying your time with your family or your buddies and you just wanted to give it a quick spray and wipe, it'll work well with a microfiber towel also.
Oh, I'm starting to see a lot of that dirt lift right there. That's a ton of dirt lifting. And you can see the foam obviously changing color there.
I think that silver is gonna totally
Dude, I think that silver is gonna look insane. And so we're using just a detail factory brush right now. Boar's hair a little bit stiffer to be able to get into this stuff.
Yeah, you could use you know, whatever your favorite upholstery brush is. I do really like these detail factory brushes, especially all the stitching.
So a big thing for me, right, is that certain cleaners, right, when it mixes with a certain amount of soil, right, a certain amount of dirt, it doesn't smell good. It smells off, right?
Yeah.
This, for some reason, man, it is refreshing as holy heck. Is that? I don't know if that can pick that up. That's a pretty.
You know, there's a lot of surfaces just on this seat. There's metal that's painted, there's plastic, there's the vinyl.
Yeah.
It can be used on all of those surfaces. I mean, the back of this thing is just hard plastic.
Yeah.
And they never get cleaned.
Dude, this is doing some serious work. And yes, this is cleaning substantially more than that of other cleaners. I mean, even in your guys' line, which says a lot because your guys' stuff is amazing, but this is looking great.
I think this is rubbing from the seatbelt right here.
Oh, that's still coming off. Let me see if I can agitate that a little bit. Oh, you see that?
Yeah.
That's all
it's
coming
needed
out.
the right friction.
That is all.
The right brush.
You can see all that browning coming out of that seat. That is pulling a lot of stuff. That is just sat and dried. See if I can remove that stains coming out right there.
We chose a good seat for this one.
This is a great seat for this one.
Put a little right here.
I think John Francie, the owner of this thing, is gonna be pretty excited. Well, either that or he's just gonna say, well, I'm gonna go get it dirty again for you.
Or he's gonna say, are you gonna clean the driver's seat now?
Yeah, you guys can do the other one.
So there you go, that's cockpit cleaner.
Okay.
And there's many surfaces in there. You know, some of these rigs have a headliner.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
So you want to clean the headliner with it.
Well, this shows, that's pretty wicked right there. So if we wanted to, right, with some of this being vinyl here in the middle, this kind of carbon, we could hit this with full send, right? And it would protect.
Yes, we could hit it with full send. We could spray all this and just let it soak in, let it just self-level and dry.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times I wash these. I would do this and I would just rinse it off.
Yeah.
And then let it dry itself.
Okay.
But
I mean, this is going so wickedly fast.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that. I missed one spot up here. It's the only spot I didn't agitate right there. Yeah, you can see all it pulling.
Yep. I think Dave did a great job making this product.
Yeah. No, this is great. And so, of course, like everything else from the P&S brand, everything is made right here in the USA.
So that's when I would use full send, because a lot of this is just dried out.
Could we? Yeah. When can we do that when we do a quick demo?
Maybe.
Can we do that? We can do that over there. We can step over here.
Yeah.
Just because I want to see out of my own curiosity.
I don't know how much walking around they want us to do back and forth.
The camera guys, all right, that's enough moving.
We're gonna drive them crazy.
You've changed sets too many times.
So it's already starting to dry a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and take full send and just hit all of this and let that.
Okay, so you're hitting
mist.
all of it. You're hitting everything.
I'm not worried about the powdered coat, the shocks, the tires, the wheel wells. Now it's a little wetter than I would like.
Okay.
If I would have had a leaf blower or something, I probably would have dried.
Knocked you down a little bit.
Yeah, but I think it's going to level itself nicely, and then we'll come back with one of our orange towels.
And
actually, you know, here.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Hold that for me.
Okay.
Well, I forgot we have these things. These are great.
Oh, and you're going to work it in using the applicator.
The Pro applicator, right?
Yeah. Now, this is all stuff that we've kind of helped combine with the off-road line from the Rag Company, because we figured an off-road line obviously needs some pretty sweet accessories, right? And so being able to kind of pair things that work well with the brand and work well with the products. And so this, for example, being a Pro Weave applicator, it's able to really help level, but also just distribute the product very evenly, and it feels very comfortable.
Yeah, we don't want to absorb all of it. We just want to move it around and blend it in. So it'll do a nice job of doing that.
Okay.
And let's do the seat real quick. I mean, you asked for it, so let's try it.
I did ask for it. And so what I'm going to do is, I didn't hit all the lowers here like I probably should have, but I am going to do an application.
Let's just do the back.
Okay, do the seat back here. And now would you apply it directly to it or to the applicator and then apply it via applicator?
Probably, let's try the applicator. Just put a little bit on there. You know, some of these areas like this is going to take a lot of product, this texture.
Okay. So I'm going to start kind of right here in the middle. I'm going to kind of create myself a little drip line.
There you go.
And then kind of work from there. And then bring it down from the sides, work it in. You're absolutely right. This is all just very dry. It needed some moisture, needed something to it. So I'm kind of going over all this.
You're doing the good old 50-50.
Yeah. Holy smokes, man! It looks way better. I mean, I'm hoping it's all picking up on camera, because this looks like night and day difference, especially going on all this dried out textile stuff.
And like I said, I mean, love the name. I love this fragrance. I'm happy with it.
The second that I started spraying on the applicator, I was like, oh yeah, that smells like candy. That smells like candy. Oh, yeah. So leather seats. So I can just thinking of like, how can I find more ways to use this, right? Because I'm like, okay, I can't put on my motorcycle seat. Actually, so I have a leather seat. If I were to knock it down, right, because it's got UV protection built into this, if I were to knock it down, right, make sure it's still nice and grippy, it should be fine. So, all right, we have some questions about the scents. Okay, so if we can see, there's a question. We have one question. What do we got, Dane? Do we have any questions?
No, we actually had several questions, but you guys were kind of moving along, so I didn't want to totally butt in.
Okay.
But
well, because I know
they were
we're
dying to know.
So let's do this. Let's wipe down the KTM with some pit stop.
Okay.
And answer some questions a little bit.
A little bit, and then we'll get to the other things.
Continue on.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to grab the pit stop towel right here. Got this. Okay, and then grabbing our pint. Is that fine? Okay.
Yeah, let's try the pint.
And so now for me, right, because I keep my motorcycles pretty clean, right? Especially, I do a good job, right? But here's the downside: summer riding. There's always bug guts. Always. And then dirt bikes. I have a friend named Jason, right? He took his dirt bike out for a very light off-road adventure. Literally has not cleaned it for 6 months. And I said, hey man, why don't you wipe that down? I just don't know what to wipe it down with. I said, okay, you really have just no idea. He's like, yeah, I have to give it a full wash. So this is something that makes a lot more sense, right? Than having to, put it off or something you can wipe down. Because I told them a cleaner dirt bike in the garage is going to look a lot better than something still covered in light dust and dirt. So.
And the reason I decided that we should do pit stop in this order, or the order of all the products, is because if you go a little bit crazy like I do, with full send, and you get it on some areas that you just don't want the shine on, you can come back with quick detail and do your touch-ups.
Yeah.
So in your detailing of your own rig or of your customer's rig, whatever you want, that's how I would do it. I would come back and clean up those edges.
Yeah. And this stuff adds some pretty good gloss.
It has a nice gloss to it.
For just an off-road quick detail. I'm looking at this as I'm wiping it like, okay, that's probably unnecessary amount of shine for this, but it looks damn good if I say so myself. Holy smokes.
It smells good too.
And it smells really, really good. Yeah, this is, I'm just gonna keep. So this smells like something tropical, right? Now, some people might say, does it smell like summer drink? It doesn't smell like summer drink, unfortunately, if you're a fan of the Blue Bean Maker at one point.
No, it is not. It does not smell like that. It has a mango-y, summery
It does have a different kind of it has a little bit of mango, but something else is in the mix as well. But I really like it. I think regardless of
part of that, it's the chemical that does that too, right? It can always change those. But I'm happy with it. It's fresh, as it's floating through the air right now.
Yeah.
It's pleasant.
It's very pleasant. And so what I would do, right, if it was me, right, before any ride, I would take this stuff to it because it does add slickness. So the idea is that when you're going on a ride, right, especially on a motorcycle, and you're going to be going through a bug-infested area, I like it when the bugs ski off my fairings, not hit me, but go around me, and that way I don't have to deal with a bunch of bug splatters because bug etchings happen on not just cars, right, but it happens on motorcycles as well, and it's something that's not fun. It's not fun to deal with. And so something like this, it's going to add some protection, it's going to add some more UV protection and slickness. I really, really like that idea.
That's a really good point about creating a barrier to protect. In the same way, you probably could use full send in wheel wells to create that barrier. Now, it's going to attract that dust a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're the kind of person that's going to go mudding and you want to come back and just power wash it when you're done, it's going to be that barrier to help you just knock that stuff down.
It's going to be a barrier to where if you wanted to be lazy, knock it down, take this out, wipe it down really quick, and then call it good. So I wouldn't do this on the seat, but this is something I would still feel confident hitting on the wheels, absolutely 100%. You can wipe down, like for example, you have your small miniature display here, right?
Exactly.
I can tell you there's already one.
Someone's wiped it.
Yeah, somebody already kind of wiped it, so I'm going to take my pit stop and give it one little spritz there, go through, and clean that up. And that's going to look a ton better.
Let's do this real quick. If these guys want to follow us, let's go over and do the same thing.
Okay. I'll let you play with it because I'm having too much fun.
All right. Door handles right here. So, I mean, got dirty inner doors here.
Yeah.
And this thing is definitely custom. Nice light spritz.
Well, in those gauges, right? The gauges also scratch. The faces of those gauges, especially aftermarket.
So a nice light wipe and then flip your towel, And this thing has some custom gauges.
And so you're kind of using it as a dedicated quick detailer in this particular case. But if you wanted to, I mean, you could go through with a Cockpit and then take a brush and then agitate everything to lift everything out and then go through the protection. Or you could also use full send in the case that it needs some moisture. It needs a little bit more, something to it, right?
Yeah, these are the surfaces that I'm gonna, recommend using Cockpit cleaner on.
Okay.
Or on our pit stop for this metal powder coating, aluminum doors. Mm-hmm. Get behind here and clean them up nice.
Yeah.
And then also, I'll let you show that.
So there's a lot of fingerprints on here.
From Gabe ripping this thing around.
Yeah.
Getting in and out.
A lot of greasy fingerprints. So yeah, give that a spray down.
Can you hold that for me? I'm gonna go and flip my towel. And that towel is dirty, actually. Nice and dirty.
Yeah, no, it's picking up some dirt for sure. And like we said before, this is going to have a little bit more of an emphasis on cleaning power than a standard quick detailer, mainly for the fact that it was designed for off-road and it knows it's going to be picking up some dirt. But flashes off extremely fast. Kyle's flipping his towel, and I could see it kind of happening here.
It shows it on this.
It shows it very well.
Yeah, just lightly buff it down and give it that gloss.
How's it feel? It feels pretty smooth.
Yeah. I mean, this is some cool stuff. I may have to hit up your sticker mafia guy,
Right? I know. John. John makes some pretty amazing things. So with that being pit stop, right? So we have technically we have another product left in the line here, which I think will probably be the most popular product, especially for what most people are going to be using off-road, right? Now, you said before, foam cannon use, bucket wash use. I think that most people that probably have any type of off-road vehicle probably already invested in a pressure washer because I think they go hand in hand.
You need one for sure.
You need one. Yeah. So with that said, they probably have a foam cannon of some sort. I know that there's going to be more accessories down the road for the off-road line, probably things like a foam cannon, something that's a little more dedicated like that, probably more proper brushes to be able to get more intricate areas. But this being a foam cannon ready soap, that has the rust inhibitors in it, that has things that's going to land on the surface, protect it in the future, it seems like it's pretty easy to use. Yeah,
it's going to be really easy to use. When we played with it, I feel like a 10-to-1.
Okay.
I don't like a light soap. I don't like whipped cream.
Okay.
But I don't like it like milk.
You don't like, you don't
like that in between.
Watery.
I want it to drag the dirt down the side of any vehicle and emulsify, lift that dirt.
Yeah.
But I don't want it just to sit there.
Okay.
I want it to glide.
Yeah.
And so 10-to-1 will work great. It's working great on this cannon. Some cannons you may want to go a little bit more. Add a little bit. I don't know. This is about 100 mils in here.
Okay.
So you maybe 150 mils.
Okay. Okay.
If you want whipped cream.
Double it.
Yeah,
double it. Triple it.
Triple it.
Have fun with it. Okay.
Squeeze the whole bottle in it. Just put the cannon right on the 32-ounce bottle, and I'm joking.
Heck yeah. So, and if anybody wasn't aware right now, so the off-road line is available right now at theradcompany.com. I know that sounds like a QVC commercial, but honestly, it really is. And so head to theradcompany.com. P&S is doing something crazy today, obviously 20% with the rest of the line, but launching at TRCMA is amazing, right? Being able to offer a discount right out the gate is also amazing. But also, you guys have your coin, right? So your collectible coin that you guys have with the TRCMA and P&S combo on there. So this is going to the charity of your choice, right? Which is going to help more clean water in Africa, right?
That's the Mr. Phillips shows.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. And so this is great, man. And so be able to collect this. It goes along with the rest of the coins for the entire week. There is still one more coin tomorrow that you guys will have to wait for, but it goes to a good cause, right? 100% of the proceeds go to a charity of the brand's choice throughout the entire week. And it's something cool to take home with you, right? To remember TRCMA, and then whether you want to shadow box it, whether you want to keep it in your UTV or off-road vehicle, you can do a coin flip, throw it down. Which path am I taking? Am I going left or am I going right?
Yeah, that's actually, I like that.
Right? Do you like that?
That was slick.
Thanks,
man.
Fork in the road. The fork in the road. Which way you going, left or right? I think it's a really cool feature of just kind of being able to give that back to you guys here during TRCMA. So I think we're going to open it up for some questions, Dane, because at the very end, we are going to be foaming the razor and then sending it off to the rest of the P&S team. So, Dane, what do we got?
Oh, I know. They're pretty excited for that one. There's been a lot of talk here, chatter in the comments, people interested to see the stuff in action. And, of course, they're liking the labels, the colors. They really want to know the smells, though, specifically the Bearded Hunter. Let me pull his comment up here. He was wondering about the interior product, wondering what it smells like.
So the interior, dude, it smells It's like super fresh. I don't really know. I've never really smelled anything like that before. And I think that means a lot coming from me. And you guys know that I'm a pretty big fan of smells, but I have not smelled this smell before. And so obviously P&S pulled this out of somewhere, you know, deep in their secret rooms because it is.
It's a fresh. I wouldn't say it's a. I don't know if it's lemony fresh.
I'm told
No,
it's a little
not-
citrusy.
It's got a little bit.
citrusy.
in the
got-
ballpark.
It's got like some kind of citrus in it, but it's also has like this weird, like kind of like balancing effect to it. And like I said, the second it hit dirt, how do I say it? Almost smelled better. The second it like made contact with the dirt, I was like, oh, I like
Really?
this. This smells
Like
really
so
good.
kind of a citrusy, but when you mix it with the dirt, it becomes earthy, or
Kind of in like a weirdly, oddly good way. I don't know
so
how
weird
else to
cologne
describe
is
it.
what I'm getting out of
Weird
this. When you
cologne.
combine it
no,
with
it's
the
not
dirt,
weird cologne.
It's not weird cologne. It's not. Yeah, it's not the cologne that I failed to make one time.
It's a fresh
No.
fragrance. I mean, it says it that it is meant to leave that lingering fresh smell.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
just-
absolutely. If you're gonna use this like in your garage or you're wiping something down, it's gonna smell like that in it.
As
for
this
sure.
has been developed,
Yeah.
our mad scientist Dave Phillips
Yeah.
has just blended and tweaked, and we'll have to get him on one day to
Well,
answer
and
all
the-
these
yeah.
very particular questions about what it is in there.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
it's a
that'll be
mix of a
that'll
few
be a
things.
future Q&A, or that'll be something where we have him come back. But I mean that's the thing. I mean, this was all developed by Dave Phillips, right? Who is the father, right? The father of bead maker, right? He is he's the one that created that. And so I think just reminding people it goes a long way, because I mean there's only one Dave Phillips out there, and he's just an incredible person. And I think that everything that he creates we look forward to it every single time. So
it's great every time. Now
what else do we got?
Samantha Sweden here saying, Kyle Clark, where's my T-shirt? I wear a large.
Oh, I think we can make that happen, Samantha.
There is people trying to take this shirt off of my back already, and I'm
Literally
like,
right
I haven't even had it on for an hour, right? I'm like, give us time, right? The logo is absolutely awesome. I think that this is you guys might potentially have these, maybe, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, maybe. I think this is going to be awesome. I think
Okay.
it's going to be big.
Dude, I think so. I know right now, that we have quite a few of our off-road fans, right, and grand ambassadors and things like that are heavily in the Jeep community and other off-road community. I know they're watching this. I know they're looking forward to it. I think they're looking forward to kind of everything that this line is going to offer, not just on a chemical basis, but I think it's going to be accessories. I think it's going to be stickers. I think it's going to be more of that lifestyle of being able to get dirty, but then able to clean up well, right? It's a perfect example of a guy that goes out, works really hard 9 to 5, gets really dirty, and is able to put on a suit at the end of the day and show up at a party and wow the audience.
Yeah,
Now, I've got our friend Baum here asking a question, but I'll let you finish that.
No,
go ahead.
Bomb detail.
Wants to know, do you feel full send works kind of like dynamic as far as the wet application, or is it different?
Well, it's definitely going to be different.
Yeah, it's different.
Because it's not dynamic.
Yeah, it is not dynamic dressing.
But it is going to self-level like dynamic does and moisturize those powder-coated surfaces.
Yeah.
The shine, I feel, is more than a natural shine.
Yeah, it looks very natural to me.
But not wet.
I
super
call it satin. Based off of what I'm seeing right there
Yeah.
on that razor, I mean, granted that it's new, I can tell the difference, and it's definitely more of a satin shine to it, and so. But it's slick. I mean, it's not slick. It's smooth in the sense that you rub your hand over it. It's not greasy. And dynamic just goes on really thick. And unless you apply a nice even application, sometimes you can get high spots. With this, based off of what you did there, it looks like it's perfectly level.
Yeah, it looks really good. I would probably go over there with a microfiber and blend in the wheel a little bit because it has some pockets.
Okay, yeah.
But it's ready to go.
Heck yeah, okay.
All right, and then he had another question. I feel like we just found a new all-around interior cleaner. He's very excited about that one. So I think that one's kicking
I think your customers will like it on any vehicle.
Yeah.
And Decon must have ordered a bottle right away because he said he was blown away by Anthony's reaction to the smell. So I think he just wants to find out, what's Anthony like? All right, he knows he's picky. I'm
telling you, guys know I'm really weird about the smells, but like when I like something, I really like something, and I'm telling you that was, I'm very happy.
G. Davis follows with, I know more than you. Anthony on Sense. Now, Fernando, good question here, saying, are these products for off-road only? I feel like I know the answer.
So, I mean, they can be used on really any vehicle. I mean, like, hell, I mean, honestly, I'm going to use this stuff on my Dodge Ram because my Dodge Ram gets pretty beat on in comparison to my other cars. I still have mud from a future adventure that you guys are going to see tomorrow as a teaser. I still have mud inside, right? I'm probably going to dip into this stuff before dipping into anything else because I know that that'll be able to tackle the job probably much faster and much more efficiently. Did I tell you that I have, you know, my floors in that Dodge Ram? I have vinyl floors.
That is awesome.
So vinyl floors, right? With this, that's not slick. I think it's, yeah. I'm excited. So yes, it can be used for things outside of off-road, but I mean, it really was intended for off-road.
Exactly.
But I think it can be used for a little bit.
We went down the journey of trying to create something for the off-road market, but this doesn't limit it to
just that,
yeah.
Would it be safe to say that they're perhaps a little on the more aggressive side compared to a more traditional car product, just because you're dealing with mud and dirt?
I think so. I think they're slightly more on the aggressive side, but I mean, Dave wouldn't make anything that would be harmful, and so I know that he wouldn't do that, but I think that he would be able to maybe concentrate something where it needs to be, you know, to make it worth it, right? And so I think he does a really good job at that. But I mean, I'll tell you right now, though, I mean, wide open, you know, having a shampoo that has rust inhibitors in it, that's cool. That is absolutely huge for any vehicle, right? Especially undercarriages and things like that for, you know, East Coast vehicles, Northeast vehicles, anywhere where you're going to see major corrosion happening.
They need all the help they can get.
Yeah, they need all the help they can get. So I'll tell you, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if my truck lived over there, I mean, there'd be holes in it, right? And so that's something that's why I'd be using something like this for anything on the underside or heck, even the paint at that point.
Yeah, and Adam had a similar question here. Basically said he's got a work truck that's constantly covered in dirt and, you know, stuff from job sites. So that's actually a good idea, you know, if you're like construction or like electrical, you know, power line worker, something like that, those trucks get dirty. That seems like a good approach there.
Yeah, no, like any type of power trucks or any type of plumbing trucks, any of that stuff that's out in the field, it's going to get absolutely filthy. And so, I mean, it makes the most sense. But the rust inhibitors it's absolutely what's selling it for me. Yeah.
All right, that was pretty much the extent of it, because there were a lot of questions about people wondering if it was better to use exclusively on off-road versus, you know, on-road cars, but I think we firmly established that's the case. Now, was there anything else you guys wanted to touch on before we're moving on here?
I just say at this point in time, I mean, this is something that I recommend trying out for yourself, whether you have an off-road vehicle or not, or something that you're just wanting to, you know, just genuinely try out to test out the cleaning power. If you don't have an off-road vehicle, like, you know, I'm assuming not everybody does, things that you can still enjoy and absolutely use would probably be the Cockpit interior cleaner. I think you can absolutely still enjoy the Pit Stop Quick Detailer, the Full Send deep dressing. Just depending on how well you maintain your car, you may not need to overuse the all-around cleaner, right? You may not have to use a soap with rust inhibitors in it, but the option's there if that's the path you want to go down. But the line is absolutely awesome. It's beautiful. It looks great, and I really hope that people get to use it. And I mean, jump on it. Have fun with it.
And I would add that I think this is just the beginning of the line.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see where this goes.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
There may be additions to it over time, but this is our what we wanted to bring to the world and start.
Yep.
And before we full send over to our friends, I think we can attach that foam cannon.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
And see how nice this comes out.
All right. So I'm gonna get this set up. So in terms of the viscosity, I mean, it still looks thin in there. But at the same time, it's got a really nice green color. Gonna go ahead and attach this on the MTM Aqua line here. Get it around that meaty tire tread.
Dang, man. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
that is some meaty tire tread. I mean, that's grabbing onto everything.
There you go.
So, yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so you tell me. You are the professional off-roader. What should I hit?
Let's hit all this back here.
Everything back there?
Foam it up.
All right, so
let's make the adjustments as needed.
Does anybody want to come to the foam show over here? Glenn, are you ready for the foam show? So Glenn, right, who's one of our editors, but also one of our videographers, she is a huge fan of off-roading. So she has a Jeep, and this has been the thing that she's been looking forward to the most out of all of TRCMA. Seriously, like we did her Jeep the other day with the Dry Ice Energy, and she's like, okay, this is awesome. I love this, but I want the off-road product.
Could I see a wash Wednesday one day with maybe with her red Jeep?
Okay, she's jumping up and down. All right, keep the camera still, Glenn. I know you're excited. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this on. Here we go.
Let's see how it goes. It's sticking. It's clinging.
That's cleaning extremely well.
And it smells nice.
It does smell nice. That does smell really. I don't know what that is.
It smells better out of the cannon.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either, but that smells great. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for something that's going to be able to pull, dwell, and start to basically break down any of that dirt that's sitting on the surface. But I mean, you can see the engine right here. Everything is cleaning extremely well, and I'm excited to know that there's rust inhibitors being left on the surface to keep it protected and keep that corrosion at bay. So, wow, awesome. So, anyways, guys, Kyle, any last things to say before we hand it over to the rest of your team?
No, this has been great. Thank you very much, Anthony. Thanks to Rag Company for having us.
Thank you.
And follow us on our social media. Yeah. And we'll be sharing a lot more of the P&S Off-Road line.
All right, guys, so that's P&S Off Road for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys dig it. Pick it up at theragcompany.com. Again, it's on sale right now. You're going to love it.